Hi, today I'm going to be making chicken soup. Probably chicken noodle, but yeah, chicken soup either way. So first I'm just going to cut up my chicken. I've got chicken thighs. I am not feeling very good today. Got a bit of a cold. And so I'm just, my family's out at the moment. So I'm just gonna chuck this together. I've been trying to edit a video all afternoon. The editing program just will not. So I finished editing it now. It just will not let me export the file all at once. I've tried several different editing programs now. I've tried Canva. I've tried Shortcut. It's another little editing program. I've tried, what else have I tried? What's the one that I'm trying today? It's called, this is a Microsoft one. It's called Clipchamp. Yeah, and that is really good to edit in. The only reason because I have Shortcut, and it is good to edit in as well, but it's a little bit more complex than just here, put your files in, do a couple of little edits, edit out a few bits you don't want, and then upload it, which is what I want. I don't want, you know, I'm not trying to do super fancy, high-tech videos, you know. I'm just trying to do little YouTube videos, and then ones that I can, you know, edit some bits and pieces and put them on TikTok and whatnot. I'm not trying to be super fancy, but none of the editing programs, I'm filming on a phone, and so none of the editing programs will, well, Canva at least. I really liked Canva. It was good to edit in. It was good to edit in. It was user friendly, but it won't let me upload more than a gig. It won't let me upload more than a gig in a file. And so, you know, when you record like a 20-minute video on a phone, it's going to be more than a gig in size, and the bloody program won't let me upload it. So I have to then use a different editing program to cut the clip in half so that I can then go and edit. How does that just sounds ridiculous to me. Editing, I have to use a different program to edit the program, to edit my file. Like, so it's been frustrating. Anyway, so my son was telling me about, well, my daughter was telling me about Canva, which I tried that. That's the one that I found wouldn't let me upload big files. Then, but it's really easy to use. So Shortcut will allow me to upload big files, but I didn't find that very easy to use. It wasn't very user friendly, I didn't think. You know, for someone who's just trying to do, you know, little videos here and there. I'm not, you know, going to be some Hollywood editor or anything. So that one is fine, but it's not very user friendly. And then now I've tried Clipchamp, and I like it. It lets me upload bigger files. That's been great, but it, what's the word? Like, it freezes a lot, glitches a lot, and you've got to reload your files back into it. Anyway, so that's the chicken. I'm gonna get this in the sink, and we're gonna use this chopping board. I'm gonna wash my knife real well, and then we'll cut up the vegetables that are gonna go in the soup. So I'm going to be using this large stock pot for no other reason other than it's big and I know it can hold all of the stuff. I've made soup in it before, so it's not going to be anywhere near full. Probably only going to be to about there, but so oh, it's not what I meant to do. Open. I'm going to get a bit of oil in there. Oh, too hot. How did that get so hot so quick? I'm a bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to hot stuff. Put that back on. I had it up too high. You can't really even see it. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute while I get back to the other stuff. Now I'm going to cut up carrots, onion, maybe I'll do the onions first. Where's my knife? I'll do the onions first because I'll get them in there once the chicken has started to brown a little bit. I don't usually cut the end off, but I will today. Get these. It's a fairly large dice. They're going to be in the soup for a long time, so it's not going to matter if they're big. Get those in a minute. Looks like everybody just got home, so I will probably end up doing a voiceover for the rest of it. Now I'm going to add in the onions. Just give that a stir. So now I'm going to get my carrots into a bowl, and then I'm going to cut up the potatoes. At this point, I've got my kids in the background showing me photos they took while they were out. So I've just I'm going to do a voiceover for this part. Pretty much for the rest of the video I'll do a voiceover. I'm just going to cut them into little chunks so that they don't get too overcooked in the time that it's going to simmer for. I'm just going to put them in the bowl with the carrots because that's all going to be added in at the same time. I'm going to cut up some celery. These little sticks get brown bits on the end, so I just cut off the little brown bits so that they don't go into my final product. And I'm just going to do little half moons. I'm going to add in my carrot, potato, and celery. Give it another quick little stir. I'm going to add in 2 litres of chicken stock. I wasn't sure if I was going to add 2 litres or not. I'm just eyeballing all of this because that's sort of how I cook, is just sort of eyeballing ingredients. So with the second one, I wasn't going to add all of it, and then I was like, nah, I quite like a watery soup, like more of a soup rather than a stew. So I put in an extra. I put in all of that one in a sec. You'll see. Now I'm gonna do zucchini. I don't always add this into chicken soup or any soups that I make, but I had them sitting there and I wanted to use them up. So I'm just gonna do these in half rounds as well. So I'm going to do them in little chunks that size so that they don't lose all of their integrity for the in the vegetable when they're cooking. I still want them to have a little bit of toothsome to them. Not toothsome, what's the word? A little bit of something. So they're not just mush. And then I'm going to add up some mushrooms. I'm just going to half or quarter these. No. I'm just going to get the lid on so that it can start to come up to a boil and taste it. Now I'm going to get the oven on for our bread rolls. I should have turned it up to 200 there, but I'll come back and turn that up. And here I've got the bread rolls here. They're like half-baked bread rolls, and then you just finish them off. I'm also going to add in a can of corn and some noodles, fettuccine. I'm going to drain them. And then I have some old noodles, a couple of noodles left, so I'm just going to use those. I end up putting more than that in, but that's just what I've got there for the moment. And I'm going to get some trays out to put the bread rolls on. and some baking paper. In goes the mushroom and the zucchini. I'm going to put salt and pepper in. I don't know if I've salted it yet or not, but I haven't put any pepper in. So I just put a good little amount of pepper. Then I'm going to add in some Worcestershire sauce. I think this just gives such a good flavour. I end up adding more of that in a moment that you'll see. But I just love the taste of Worcestershire with everything. It's a salty kind of flavour to add in there. I'm going to add in the corn. Give that a stir. I'm going to add in my pasta. And I'm going to break it. Sorry to all the Italians. And then I realised that's nowhere near enough, so I'm going to add more. Probably about double amount again. Just get them in there so they can start cooking. And I'm going to taste it again. It needs more salt. And I'm pretty sure this is where I add in more Worcestershire, I think. Maybe towards the end I add that in. Now I'm going to get the lid back on, just sort of half off, and let that come to a boil again. Now I'm going to get my rolls in. I like to have butter, salted butter with our rolls. So I'm just going to add some butter in, chop some butter up and put that on a plate and put it back in the fridge just until it's ready, until the soup's ready. I'm just going to check on the rolls. They're pretty much ready now. So I'm going to shut that, turn the oven off. Now I've got some spring onions that I'm just going to, they were a little bit on their way out, so just use the very ends of them, like the white part. taken off a few of the outer layers that you can see there, and I'm just going to dice these up and put on mine because I just love a little bit of spring onion on soup. Now let's see how the soup is going. Looks good. Just going to grab a pair of tongs so I can get a noodle out and test it. And I think it wasn't quite ready yet, so I put the lid back on for another few minutes. Gonna get our bowls out that we're gonna have it in. I really want to get some more of, like, we have these white bowls that are more like cereal bowls kind of thing, like cereal soup kind of bowls. I really want to get some more of those, but I don't have enough to serve everybody, so we have to use these. I don't even know what you call these kind of bowls. But yeah, now I'm just gonna cut a little hole in the top of the buns so that we can put the butter in it because the soup's nearly ready. Now we've got one last taste and it's good. The noodles are good, so we're good to go. Here we are serving it up. There's our butter to put on the bread rolls. There's Bobby in the background trying to find something that I might have dropped. Now we can serve it up. Everybody ended up coming back for seconds, and my husband even went back for thirds. Not quite as much in each serving, but he did go back for a third. And then we still had 2 portions that were left to go in the fridge for leftovers, which is what I wanted, which is why I make such a big batch of it every time. I'm just going to add some butter into mine. We usually have 2 rolls each, which is why I get 2 packets. And then here's my plate. I'm going to add my spring onions to the top. And that's everything. And I really hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you make it. Sorry I don't give proper amounts in there. But anyway, thank you for watching.